How's it going, everybody? It's me, Truck Driver Sean, coming at you from the Deviant Arachnid High Wind booth here at NAMM 2024. Today we are going to show you a prototype amplifier from Jordan at HIGHWIND Amplification. And he does have a name for it, and you have to excuse me for not remembering what the name is, but it's a prototype. You're going to see more of this. There's been a lot of playing it here at NAMM. People are really digging it. It sounds really good. You basically have the modded Marshall platform, or the Plexi, modded Plexi situation. So you got a depth, you got an NFB on it, which kind of like helps with a little bit of noise. You got presence. You have a body switch for like how full or how compressed and tight you want to have it. You have three choices there. You have a mode. I do not know what it does. I just know I like it all the way turned off. And same with the attack. I don't like a lot of attack. I like my strings to breathe. I also don't play very genty, so that's probably why. But if you do, this amp kind of does a lot of stuff for a lot of people. You have bass, middle, treble, master, and gain. And it's got buckets of gain. I got the gain turned down to probably 70%, 65%, and it's a lot. You also have a low gain setting, which turns this into a rock and roll machine. If you're the Nickelback guy, it'll do it. Alright? And if you like the 80s, like I do, it's wonderful. He did a fantastic job with this. I do not know if he plans on doing massive things. I do know he plans on doing a small run. If it's something you're interested in, you definitely want to get a hold of him early, because I do believe that if he does a small run, he'll announce it and they'll be gone. So you want to definitely keep an eye out on it. I'll jam a little bit here. I just got it set up. I'm in drop C. We're going through his cab that has been custom made by Arachnid Cabinets. It is a studio oversized 4x12. It has Celestion V30s. V30s, right? Are they vintage V30s or just regular V30s? I'm gonna go with the vintage because it's Jordan, and they're kind of better than the regular ones. So, but I know the V30s, and they were actually delivered here and put in here at NAMM, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, that's what you call cutting it to the wire. But anyway, enough of me running my suck hole. Let's check this thing out. Surprise, because the way NAMM goes, no one knows what the hell anybody's doing. We all think we're going this way, but we're really going that way. Jordan is here, so he can actually talk a little more about his amp. Step on up, Jordan, look half awake, like everybody else that's here already this morning. You might want to go on this side. Actually.
Yeah.
It's all right. We got to direct Jordan. He's
yeah.
He's been talking and very busy, so his voice today might sound like it is Saturday at NAMM, not Thursday at NAMM.
It most certainly is.
He's talking really quiet. I'm not gonna play the guitar anymore, so if you need to turn the volume up on the thing to help him, so he doesn't have to talk real hard.
I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. So what I've told people, I basically ran down what the switches do, but there's a couple I didn't know exactly what they did.
Sure.
The body, I just said, kind of changes it from like a more focused to a regular to a compressed.
It affects the filtering of it. It's the filter on the depth control. So you're kind of changing like where that depth control is affecting. Does that make sense?
Yep. Basically controls the chub, like Jenny Craig.
That's why it's called body, right? It's the thickness, right? That's the best way.
Down with the thickness. And NFB is for noise, right?
Negative
noise
feedback.
floor. Negative feedback.
Negative feedback.
Which I call it noise floor, because I'm stupid. Mode?
As a Marshall platform, it's got Jose clippers in it, like a Jose mod.
Okay.
And mode is your different clipping options. So
Oh.
left is like a less compressed option, more headroom, right?
Yep.
Right is really gainy, very saturated, very squishy.
That explains why I like it all the way to the left.
You gotta turn the volume like way high on that right side.
Yep.
And then center, there's no Jose clipping taking place, and so there's the only clipping is happening naturally, like within the tubes. And
so you get more like the JCM 800.
yeah, very
actual
British,
feel.
very British, a lot louder too.
Yeah, we found that out.
Yeah.
It was insanely loud. I was like,
Sure.
oh shit.
It's a surprise if you're not prepared for it. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the attack, I take it, is just the overall push of the amp, correct?
No, there's a filter kind of in line with the gain control, and basically it's a treble cut, but like it really affects. To me, it's like that treble response you get when you in your pick attack. Does that make sense? So that's why I was referring as that. That's why I'm referring to it as the attack control.
Okay.
Because it's like you can feel it, like especially that initial hit on your pick when that attack's the brightest, and it's a treble beat attached to the game. So.
And I also mentioned that you are going to do a run of these, but it's going to be very small, extremely limited.
The plan is to do start with 5 or so and kind of see how things go. I have to get some supply chain things worked out. This was done on whimsy, you know what I mean? I had
It's
3
a very
months,
good whimsy, though.
I appreciate that. I had 3 months to prep for NAMM, and I was like, well, if I'm going to exhibit at NAMM for the first time, I might as well go big, So this is about as big as I could think to go,
It came out. I'm not saying this came out run. I actually like the amp. It came out very, very good.
Thank you. The response has been overwhelmingly positive, which has been really nice.
Well, it's like I was saying earlier. You weren't here for what I was saying earlier. I was saying a lot of people had stopped and played through it, and it's a massive array of different players, from the gent guys, the low boys, to the guys like me that are salty and old that play thrash. Everything in between has run through this amp, and everything has sounded fucking phenomenal.
Did you see Lloyd Grant here yesterday playing it?
Yeah. I was standing next to Devin Townsend watching. It's kind of different standing next to Devin Townsend watching someone play an amp. I ain't gonna lie, you don't get to do that every day. And he's such a sweetheart too, by the way. Super nice guy. But this amp is phenomenal. So it runs off 84s or 88s?
2 EL34s.
Okay,
and 3 12AX7s.
That's very beefy for just going off basically the minimal plexi setup, really. It's just incredibly beefy.
I took a lot of notes from like the Cameron Atomica, for just that was kind of like the base inspiration, and then I just I overhauled like the gain stages, tweaked them. I really did a lot of work on that tone stack specifically.
Yeah.
And the whole point was I wanted to have a lot of heft. To borrow a word from my buddy Phil, who came by yesterday. I wanted it to have a lot of heft. I wanted it to be, very, very strong, and like the low mids had a lot of like mass to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted the palm needs to be really visceral, and I really wanted it to have like a thick, almost orangish low end. I wanted a little bit of that, like a little bit of that saturation and fuzz to the lowness, but not enough to like rob all the percussiveness from the amp. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it's just I'm a very percussive player. When I play thrash, my right hand's kind of like it gallops to a chug, chug to a gallop.
Sure.
And it does it very well. You can go from your chug to your gallop, and it doesn't miss the crossover. It literally sucks it right up. And honestly, I've played, I don't know, more Marshalls than I care to admit, because I'm not a Marshall liker, but I love modded Marshalls, so it makes no sense.
Everybody loves modded Marshalls.
I know, right? But this right here, it's kind of like its own beast. I was telling someone yesterday, they're like, what's it remind you of? I'm like, well, it has that thing you like about Plexi, but the things you hate about Plexi, you'd have to hunt real hard to find it. You actually did a very good job of getting rid of the stuff that, as metal players and aggressive hard rock players, the things that we hate about Marshall, you kind of, well, I shouldn't say hate, that's a real strong word, we despise. You kind of got rid of it, but if you dig, you can find it if you're someone who likes that very honest Marshall thing. And I found that when you put it in the low, you actually get that. Like, you get that good, like, I don't know if you can call it good because it's a Nickelback tone. No one threw anything. But if you put it in the low, you can get that thing you want from, like, your JCM 800. It almost delivers it to you on a platter, but you have the ability to tighten that lower gain, very British feel to it with it. It's a smart amp. You did a good job.
Thank you. Yeah, it was kind of like a no frills thing. I wanted it to just be like very pure in its purpose. Does that make sense?
And it's great. And it's easy to dial into. I had it dialed in
seconds. That to me is one of my big things with amps is, me personally, like, I like having options, but more importantly to me is, can I turn on an amp and within a couple minutes, can I have something usable? Or with everything at noon, just about, can I get something that's,
it's funny you say that.
In the ballpark. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, but like, even if you were to noon everything, like, we've had some players here and I've done that, and they're like, even at noon, this sounds good. Yeah. And then you just kind of like adjust to taste. But
like, mine are basically at noon, except for the depth. I like a...
Yeah, well, but we also have people like
hardy.
cranking stuff too, like the depth and the bass crank to get something really low endy and just like strong, and like that sounded good too, right? But at noon you can get something totally usable, and then in a couple minutes you can get something really cool, right? Yeah. And that's what I like in amps. I don't want them to be. I shouldn't need to write a dissertation and like have a PhD to dial an amp, you know what I mean? And like, because I've had pieces of equipment that I've had to sit and listen to until my ears got tired and I couldn't get them dialed. I had to come back a different day, you know what I mean? And sometimes this is how it is. Sometimes it's worthwhile to do that, but I wanted something just simple and again pure in its purpose, just to be like really aggressive, like a sledgehammer,
As simple as it is, though, it's a tone chaser string.
Thank you.
Because you can, like, I play in way higher tuning than most of the people that have plugged into it. A lot of 8-string stuff happened this weekend, and whether they're playing it or I'm playing it, we're getting really usable sounds out of it. Nothing really sounds like shit. I mean, you can't lie. I got just the mic, it's going straight into that camera. You're not getting anything.
I honestly don't know which speaker you're on either.
I'm on this speaker.
No, I know, but I don't know which one that is, because the cabinet has an X pattern of V30s and creambacks. And
I was wrong.
Because Robert did the cab for me, right? Robert at Arachnid did the cab. I don't know which speaker ended up in which position. I'd have to listen to it really close, to be honest with you. I haven't done that yet.
Well, we know it's a Celestian. It could be a creamback. It could be a V30.
Yeah, but that's what I use at home as well. I have a 212 at home with a creamback and a V30. So when I was dialing this, I was able to dial it to work to sound really great with those speakers in particular, because I like that combination quite a bit. For most amps I've owned.
Well, it's a very versatile combination. You can't really go wrong with it. I mean, it's been around forever.
It's almost like a standard. You know,
yeah.
And there's a reason.
It's not a bad standard to have.
Right. There's a reason for it.
Very cool. Well, anyway, that's your sneak peek. Oh, what's it called? I couldn't friggin' remember.
The Torrent 50.
The Torrent 50. So, like you said, you're looking at probably 5 of them. So when they do, you want to keep an eye on HIGHWIND Amplification. Follow him on all of his socials. He is everywhere, and he's very responsive. He will get back to you quite quickly. Let's say within a day. He does have a real job. This is not the real job. This is the passion job, which means this is the job that
Within a day, unless I'm at NAMM.
unless he's at, yeah, and if you've been trying to get a hold of me all weekend, you know what we're talking about. I'm always on top of my messages except for the last 3 days.
NAMM's been pretty wild.
Yeah, we're very busy here. I should say we're very busy. I'm running around talking to so many people. He has to talk to people for business. I'm talking to people because I'm just trying to, be a douchebag. But amp is awesome. Torrent 50. If you have any questions beyond what you're finding out in this video right here, this is the man that you will talk to. He does not have people. He does not have staff. You will physically be talking to Jordan Gale of HIGHWIND Amplification.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Jordan, for letting me